Hello, you're very welcome to your Lurgan podcast. I'm Donagh.
And I'm Michael Scott. Hello.
And it's really good to be out in
Hi,
the
how
open.
are you?
Yeah, I'm not for bad. Apparently, it was because I made fun of you a couple or 3 weeks ago when you were in the depths of well, you weren't really in the depths of despair, but you were with sea, as it were.
Yes, it wasn't. Well, not that it wasn't. It wasn't pleasant. But the having to stay in the house for 3 weeks, that was the worst part. But now you've had a taste of that for yourself.
I had a taste of the bad stuff, first of all. Not as severe as many others, thank goodness, but I tell you what, I didn't feel like doing anything and felt like being locked away for a couple of weeks. But by the end of the first week, I felt as if I never wanted to be locked away again, but I hadn't much energy. Anyway, enough about me. What do you think about me? Enough about me. What's it all about, Alfie? You managed without me, which was the biggest disappointment of it all, I have to say.
I just about managed without you. There was a bit of a scramble on Friday morning to find content, but we got there in the end. We got one out. Thanks to Eugene for stepping in the last minute to give us a few minutes of sporting content on the phone, but we got there in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, we might.
Don't worry, your job's safe.
That's good to know. It's all I needed to hear. I can go now. Well, welcome indeed to all of those listening around. Hopefully it hasn't visited your door. If it does, it disappears before too long. Plenty of stories to look back at.
So we should start off actually by telling people where we are. Well, I mean, if you don't know where we are, I mean, have a guess. I mean, if you're listening to us on Spotify, I suppose you don't really know if you're listening.
Well, it's not the chatty bench, but it's one of a number of benches here in Lurgan Park. We're looking out on the lake. We'd love to give you that visit and that view, and we might do if we reverse the camera around later on. But wait for that. And it's rather beautiful, rather tranquil. Easy for you to say. Rather
Tranquil.
The widow twankle. Rather tranquil. And maybe I've been tranquilised, I'm not sure which, but it's not that warm, is it, for a lovely July afternoon?
Put my shorts on, thinking it was going to be a lovely warm day. It hasn't quite proven to be, although by the time you're listening to this, I'm sure it will be, given the weather forecast, which, by the way, you can see every morning on your Lurgan. But yes, it's a bit overcast, a bit dull, not as warm as I'd like. But it's okay. It's okay.
That sounds like a description of me. Not as warm as I could be, dull, but anyway, we'll work on it. So we've got lots of stories. Where do we start? I mean, the obvious one might not be the most topical, and we'll come to a breaking story that I think that you have, but we're going to come to this being the week of the 12th.
Yeah, the 12th of July and the 13th as well. I suppose the 11th as well. I suppose if you go through, we've had all the days of the week this week. But the 12th of July took place this week, and I think everyone's pleased to hear that it's passed off peacefully without incident, no dramas. I was up on Monday at the Fun Day in Moorview, Community Fun Day, before the bonfire was lit, and was speaking to some of the people down there who were really enjoying themselves. And to be fair, it was a really great family occasion. The bouncy castles. There was food on offer from Pollock Place. More on them later. There was teas, coffees, and everyone just seemed to be having a bit of crack.
Did you try a burger yourself? Because I know that was the temptation.
No, it didn't actually, Donagh, because what had happened was it arrived up at about 12 o'clock when we were supposed to start, and they were still setting up, so I went and had some lunch and came back, so there was no point in me having the burger. But I'm led to believe, was it 200 burgers or 200 food tokens had given out to people in the area to go and get their food from Pollock Place, so fair play to the Moorview and Grey Estate Community Association who organised the event. Very well done. And then, of course, the bonfire was lit that evening, and obviously there's been a bit of controversy about bonfires this past year, but no incidents in Lurgan. All passed off peacefully, and then, of course, the 12th of July came. I should actually say that we should actually hear a bit from Diane Dodds, who was speaking to me on the 11th, and she was telling me what it all meant to her.
Well, when you look around here today, there's a great sense of family, fun, tradition, and I think that's what is so important and so keeps communities together on a day like this. And this is a real credit to the community for the children, for the families, at the estate, and bring people together.
Where are you for tomorrow? Are you going to go to Armagh, or where are you going to go?
I'm going to go to Newry for a little while, because there was some of the Cranbridge lodges will be marching in that, and then perhaps maybe over to Armagh soon coming home.
As well as obviously the 11th, obviously the big day was the 12th, and this year it was in Armagh. Next year it's in Lurgan, and as part of that...
Does that mean that GB News will be coming and presenting the 12th from Lurgan, do you think? Because this year they chose Armagh, Arlene Foster and Charlie, what's his name?
Charlie Lawson, yeah. Who knows? Possibly. They might go somewhere a bit further afield, they might go to Belfast.
I have to say the statement that they issued afterwards was that it was great. They beat Sky News apparently in the coverage, not numerically wise anyway, apparently, and said that we're really looking forward to the idea of doing this next year.
Oh, the idea of doing it, yeah. I like that idea. Let's do it. I like having ideas, yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, who knows? It could be live stream, but maybe somebody else will live stream it. You never know. But yes, so Armagh, because Lurgan's hosting it next year, Lurgan got to lead the parade out of the field as they were coming back on the return route to the Lurgan district. So good to see a few familiar faces at the front there leading the parade. We of course have video footage of that on your Lurgan, you can see that. And then of course the 13th was the day for the Royal Black Preceptory, which is always a word I struggle saying. So they had their parade. The Lurgan district, obviously the big day for the Black is in...
You've used a different word, is that what you're doing here?
Yes, I've changed words. The Black was in Scarva, but Lurgan district always goes to Bangor. Now, we have a piece in your Lurgan which was published on Friday explaining why that is. A bit of a historical thing. There's always been rumours of a fallout between the organisers of the Scarva Parade and Lurgan district. But
I haven't said all that. Of course, there's a train that goes to Bangor. There isn't one. Oh, there is a train.
There is, because there was a train stopped.
Okay.
No, there was a train stopped. It actually goes back far further than that anyway. So, yeah, take a look at that there. It's actually quite an interesting read. When you get to the conclusion of it, it actually isn't that interesting, by the way. That's a bit of a spoiler. But go and give it a read anyway. It's a good yarn.
Shock, horror. It's coming up soon. And then it's boring. Okay,
yes,
never mind. So you have a breaking news story as we come to press today.
A couple of breaking stories. The first one we'll talk about because I was in the car whenever I pulled up outside conducting the interview for this. Members of a couple of the unions at Armagh City, Banbridge and Craigavon Borough Council, the NIPSA Union and GMB, not to be confused with the programme that Piers Morgan used to present, but they are balloting members at the moment over strike action. Sorry, not over strike action, have to be clear about this, over possible industrial action. Although strike is one option that they could take, and if I've been told that if this passes, if the industrial action passes, that is what will be recommended to the members. This is over a dispute that the unions are having with the council over disparity in pay between members who belong, well, if you remember, the ABC Council was formed out of Armagh District Council, Craigavon Borough Council and Banbridge District Council coming together. So legacy members who worked for, say, for example, Armagh Council might be being paid more or less than members who used to work for, say, Craigavon. So they want to have that disparity wiped out. There's also an issue over the cost of living, which I think everyone's experienced at the minute anyway. So the union are looking to seek some sort of resolution to that. So balloting's currently underway. I think it'll be next month, I believe I was told. You'll see all the details in the story. It'll be on your Lurgan this weekend. But it could be next month before we find out the outcome of that. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. We've been told we'll be notified as soon as the result comes in.
Does this answer your ever-burdening and burgeoning question about what's somebody do something about the cost of living? Is somebody doing something about it here? Is this a possibility?
As in unions possibly taking action? Not really. Doesn't really answer my question. I still like to see the price of things comes down.
Well, talking of which, yeah, the prices of things are coming down.
They are.
You tell me this morning that you came across petrol being reduced.
My usual petrol station, the price of petrol at the start of the week, I believe, was 189.9, and it's now 177. And it could be lower by the time this goes out. So that's great news. I'm all for that.
I think everybody's all for that
Yeah.
one.
One other piece of breaking news as well this morning. So fresh, I have it here in my hand. I haven't actually got reading this yet. But penalty notices in terms of parking.
Oh, lovely. Just when we thought we were getting a lowering of prices of petrol, now we're going to get parking fines
Yeah.
going up, I take.
We're waiting a response from the Department for Infrastructure on this, which is John O'Dowd's department. But there has been, we can reveal, it says here, that there has been a significant rise in on-street penalty charge notices in the local area. Now, probably not that big a surprise that that's happened, given that last year, this covers the period from January to March 2021 and January to March 2022. So January to March 2021, there were still some COVID restrictions at the very start of that period. So there probably weren't as many people out and about, so there would have been fewer penalty notices being issued. So in the areas we looked at, so that was Lurgan, Banbridge, Dromore, Moira and Portadown, just to get a bit of a comparison around the place. The total number of penalty notices this year, so in 2022 from January to March, was 809. Last year in 2021 it was 150, so that's an increase of 439%. In Lurgan in 2021 there were 42 PCNs imposed on motorists. This year, 175. But the biggest increase was actually in Portadown, where January to March in 2018. I don't know if that's right. Anyway, that's the number I have here. 2018 was 126. This year, 358. So that's a big jump. Moira, for those who are interested, didn't have any in our last time, and this time they've got 46. So we're waiting on a response coming out there. Be able to read more on that.
I'd love to have a long discussion with somebody. Well, I don't anymore because I can park more readily at my own home, and I can walk up to my town. I don't have to kind of suffer the torture of getting car parking fines. But I used to, in a different city, far, far away from here, and it was very expensive for me. Some of it was my own complete own misinformation, and that misinformation was not reading the signs and parking when it was a bin day, when you were supposed to remove your bins and all the rest of it. But I got I'll not even say how much, and I'm still not sure what the purpose of it all was.
I have a question for you. You're somebody who lives in the town, and I live obviously just outside, but you live in the town and you're about pretty much all the time.
Well, I was up until the last couple of weeks, of course, yeah.
Do you think parking attendants and slapping tickets on cars, is that putting people off coming into the town centre?
So this is why I'd like to have had the discussion, but we're having it now. Now, the folks that do it, to a man and woman, are very fine people, because I've spoken with them and they're out
It would be a
doing
tough job.
the job.
I would not fancy doing that job.
It's a tough job. They're given the job, that's the job they choose to do, and out they go. Are they disincentivising people from coming into the town? A certain amount of it, yes. Are they moving traffic on? A certain amount of it. What's the point of it all? There are not enough shops of value to stay any longer than an hour or two. And the people that are coming into the town have now got used to the idea that parking's not that far away. The fact that you have to take a car to come from your home means that you're going to be in a place of displacement. And you should be ready for the fact that you're going to have to park somewhere. What are you looking? Complete convenience so that you can park outside every door of every shop that you've ever been in? Do you get what I'm going here?
I do.
So what's the big fuss about it? What's the big fuss about people moving on? I get frustrated like anybody else does if I get a parking ticket, but I know the rules and I kind of understand them. I don't think it helps one bit to keep people coming into the town or going out of the town. I think it's a fruitless, worthless exercise. because those people, if they could come and park for a couple of hours, wouldn't find anything to do.
I mean, you could park up the town, go get a coffee.
There's not even enough opportunity to do that. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh
Take it on
here.
down here.
Yeah, but you can park quite close to here,
Yeah.
or you can park in other places that are quite close to here. I think really the biggest disincentive to me is to actually pay for parking in general, not necessarily in the middle of the town to keep people away. That's supposedly the desire there, but why should you have to park in a place that the council owns that doesn't really cost that much to maintain, or if it does, the main maintenance costs are for the parking attendants?
Yeah. Food for thought there, Donagh. I think you've made your point well.
Yeah, okay. Good stuff.
I don't. I mean, yeah.
I'm going to stand for. No, I'm not going to stand for council or any office.
I couldn't afford to lose you for any longer. You're on the wrong page here.
I am. I'm
Hang
always
on.
on the wrong
Do
page.
you want me to help you out here?
We'll let you get
You
to the
fill there
right
while
page.
I
This
find the
is,
right page.
by the way, this is your Lurgan podcast. I'm Donagh McCone, and with me is Michael Scott.
Oh,
and
I've just ripped the page. It's all right. Don't
good
worry.
stuff.
Find it.
And we're back on page again.
We're going to talk now about an event that's coming up on the 24th of July. You right there?
Still here.
I was afraid just after the last time. Yes, 24th of July here in Lurgan Park. Actually, the Samaritans are holding an event. It's actually Talk to Us month. Obviously, a lot of people still feeling the effects of, the lockdowns and stuff like that. They're suffering from social isolation, so they want the people to know. The volunteers of the Craigavon branch of the Samaritans want people to know that they're here for them. So they're coming into Lurgan Park, and you can come in, have a chat with them, find out more about what the Samaritans do, have a chat with somebody if you feel like you need a chat with somebody, which I think is actually a really, really good event. I suppose it's not too far away from our chatty bench up the road there.
I think it's an opportunity for myself to talk to them. I don't expect anybody who comes along to see the Samaritans and wants to see me with a camera in their face. So it's not that. But I'd love to hear what they do. I do kind of roughly know what they do. I've never had reason to call myself, but I know people who have, and have found such value and such offering from it, and such help and such warmth from them, that they're in an enormously generous organisation, and they cannot and will not tell you what to do. I think that's, to me, is the basic premise. But they're a really important listening and sounding ear.
It's good. We've had this discussion before. It's really important to talk and, work things out through talking. I mean, you sort of you can't just, sometimes your mind's just completely muddle. And sometimes you just talk to somebody and bounce ideas off. It seems like if you're working, if you're bouncing ideas off somebody.
It's like you and me now, actually.
Yeah. If you bounce ideas off somebody, or, you'll find a solution eventually. It mightn't be the best solution, but you'll work out 2 or 3 different solutions before you get to the right one, and that's fine. It's worth talking, and certainly if you feel like you need a chat, come down and give it a go and talk to the guys from the Samaritans, and hopefully they'll be here to help you.
And hopefully we can sort something out with some of those folks who are prepared to talk to us, and just get the flavour of what they do to you, and then get the message out. If you need that particular help, that particular call, we don't have the number offhand. We might have it. If we have it,
I'll put it on the screen.
it's going to be on the screen.
Right there.
Yeah.
So that's that. Moving swiftly on to something completely different. Takeaways. This has been a debate or a matter of hot discussion on your Lurgan this week.
Hot mostly.
Yeah. Well, depends who you talk to. Sometimes it's cold. We published a list of the top 10 takeaways in Lurgan. Lurgan and Craigavon on TripAdvisor. And needless to say, the list didn't go down well because there was a few notable exemptions from that list. Cafolas came top of the list, by the way, which thoroughly deserved. I think Lurgan Institution.
Hello, Mary. Hello, Jared.
I know, just talking to people as they walk past.
No, I was talking to Mary and Jared of Cafolas, but...
Oh, right.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm with you now. I thought there was 2 people walk past at the same time there. Yes, so they I think they're quite happy with their placing, but there was a few places, as I say, that were left out, the likes of Pollock Place. There was Place Emmy's down on the Morn Road. Where else was left out? There's 2 or 3 different. There's loads of different places. You'll see a full list. The debate was quite hot about, were these places worthy of being on this top 10 list that were mentioned, and then we compiled a list of places that our readers had said had been...
I don't want to be awkward in the middle of it, but if I wasn't awkward in the middle of it, it wouldn't be me.
Correct.
It strikes me that TripAdvisor is based on having an actual post that people can make comment on. You have to be a member of TripAdvisor before people can put a review
I
up.
was going through some of the reviews. Fair enough, some of the reviews are quite old now, but there was some chippies that had rankings of 3.5 stars, say for example, of 12 reviews, and there's another one that had 3.5 of 15, but the other one that had only 12 reviews was ranking higher. So I mean, obviously there's a bit of disparity there with what TripAdvisor are saying, but
Yeah, but the point being, to start all of that off, unless you're a business that puts yourself up to be on TripAdvisor, you won't get the reviews.
I don't think you necessarily have to.
Well, you have to, of course.
No, you don't, because Max,
how do you make a
well,
review? How do you
Max
make
is
a
on there, and they didn't know they were on TripAdvisor.
Well, there's a strange one. I thought you had to be on TripAdvisor.
No.
Yeah.
I think any Tom, Dick or Harry can give a review of your... so long as they're a member of TripAdvisor, I think anyone can leave a review. I don't know.
Well, there you
I
are.
need to look into it a bit more.
There goes my scheme for everything. It was completely wrong.
But yeah,
You should take note of that. I was wrong once.
yes, it's a historic day. We'll commemorate this day next year. A minute's silence, perhaps. Yeah, so go and take a look at the list on your Lurgan. Go and take a look at both lists, actually, because we've obviously got the TripAdvisor top 10 and then a list of ones that were left out that people thought really should be on the list, and give your thoughts as well. I have my own personal thoughts, but I'm not going to tell them on this, because actually one of the ones that I would have included in the list hasn't been mentioned by anybody yet, which I was surprised at, given how popular this place is on a Saturday night. But I'm not going to say any more about that.
The other point about it would be, and this is me being negative about the whole concept, and I shouldn't really be this, we're a town that's dependent on takeouts. Nearly more than any other town in Northern Ireland.
Just to develop that, I was having to think about this the other day, and I'm going to put a post out at some stage over the weekend. Lurgan's a town that's actually dependent on its nighttime trade, of which it hasn't got a great amount. Well, it has got more than most, like Armagh, for example, hasn't got a great nighttime trade. But Lurgan's nighttime trade, I think, has sort of died off a wee bit during COVID, maybe?
Oh, without doubt. Pubs closing, entertainment centres disappearing.
In saying that, I know a lot of places are getting back on their feet and of live events coming back, music and stuff like that, and maybe they're doing a bit better than what I think. Maybe it's because I'm not out as much as what I used to be. I don't know.
That has a part to do with it, of course.
Yeah.
But you're not wrong. The opportunities aren't there.
I would like
Pubs can't afford to open during the week. They're not going to bother too much the weekend either.
I'd love to know what our listeners, readers, think of Lurgan's nighttime trade. What could be done to improve it? Is it alright as it is? What would you like to see
Or
in the
do
town?
you care at all?
Sure.
Here's the point. Do people care? Sometimes I don't think they do. Unless you're of a certain age, and that's all disappeared. COVID seems to have knocked all that in the head. The idea of socialising in general has gone to another world. And this used to be, I'm going back to the dark ages here in the ancient times, when there was just about electricity in my younger day. It was a buzzing town.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a buzzing town back whenever I was going out, which wasn't that long ago. I have 2 or 3 different ones. The Planters in Moranstown, which is now a childcare centre.
Well, you have a child now, so it's appropriate.
It is. Then there was the Cellar. The Cellar was the spot to go to after the Planters, sort of.
And still up and running, the
Still up and
cellars.
running, yeah, but not in the same vein. I don't think. Again, it's been a while since I've been in, so I could be wrong. But I don't think they do the nightclub end of it anymore. Maybe they do anymore.
No, they haven't. No.
So
There's different plans afoot.
Yeah. The world's changed, Donagh. I'm getting old.
Well, I already was old, but yeah, you're getting old.
Yeah.
Older. Let's see if there's any positive
Actually,
news at all.
This actually moves us on quite nicely to what we're about to talk about next. We're talking about nights out in Lurgan. Of course, the Master McGrath Festival is one of the highlights of Lurgan's social calendar.
It was really good this year, I have to say. All those bands outside Brownhill House, really, really good. I had a ball, absolutely.
And it's expanding. It's going from one night to 2 nights. Now, I'm going to be honest. The new first night is not for me.
Yeehaw!
It is not. They're going to have a country night. They're going to have Richie Remo and a lot of other ones. I think, did I see Boxcar Brad and all those lads? It's basically the Hugo Duncan show, but live without Hugo Duncan. But it's not for me. But there are plenty of people out there who do love that.
Y'all come and see us sometime.
I know that for a fact because I know some of the people who do like that sort of carry on. And they annoy me about what I like, and I annoy them about what they like, and that's just the way it is. Whenever it comes to music, sometimes we mean no harm.
So a music fest, as it were, over 2 days instead of the one.
Yeah.
Country music. People say there is only 2 types of music. You realise that? Country and western.
Oh,
You didn't realise that, did you?
no, I did not.
And then the kind of cover bands on the next night.
Yeah, I think that night's going to be really good because some of my the acts they are pretending to be tonight, Matthew. I'm going to be Oasis. That's my cup of tea.
Okay.
Or I think there's a Stone Roses one as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I might actually come along this year's festival. I didn't get last year. What was I doing? I can't remember what I was doing.
I know what I was.
Was I away
when
somewhere?
There. You were away. You're always away.
I was
somewhere.
away. I was in. I can't remember now. I was away
Coventry,
somewhere.
possibly.
I can't remember. But anyway, yes, I'm going to
And
try
then
and
we
get to
sent
this
you
year.
to Coventry after that.
Yes, that's right. So, no, best luck to the organisers. Hopefully all goes well. Tickets on sale now.
The date again, it's similar to last year. It's a similar weekend, isn't it?
Christ, I can't even remember off the top of my head. It's in May.
Yeah.
It's in May. End of May, I think. I think it's in May, back on holiday weekend.
Thereabouts.
You'll find the details in your Lurgan anyway.
Yeah.
So go and take a look.
I'm going to get my shirt with my, what do you call those things that they wore in the
I was
70s?
going to say stirrups, but that's...
Rhinestone. I get the
Rhinestone, yeah.
rhinestone and all
Rhinestone
that.
cowboy.
My cowboy hat. And I don't really like country music much either, but anyway, there's another story.
Suppose we'll move on to sport. And you
I look forward to Eugene and his report from the weekend, last night's big game between the Clanern and Clanagale in the Wolf's Tones, the memorial event down there. That'll be coming up at the end of this report.
Yes, well, first of all, we'll talk about some football. And we'll talk about Glenavon because their pre-season campaign is underway. They played a behind closed doors friendly last weekend against St Pat's Athletic.
Well, why do you play behind closed doors?
Well, do you know what? I know the reason why it was played behind closed doors. It was down in Dublin, and basically St Pat's didn't want... if they had opened it up to fans, they'd have to pay the guards, and they didn't want to pay the guards. So that was the only reason why it was behind closed doors. Seriously. So I've been told anyway. It was a 1-0 defeat for Glenavon on that occasion. Not surprising, it was the first game, and they're obviously getting back in the swing of things. St Pat's been playing all season. They're midway through their season, I think. But one of the things that did come out of it was Glenavon have signed a left back on loan from Derry City. Michael Glynn, I hope I'm saying your name right, Michael, because he's one of these ones that spells their name E-A-L. Could be Michael. We have an interview from coming up, by the way. We'll put that soon. So by the time you hear this, you'll hear the clarification of what his name is. He was at Dungannon Swifts last year on loan, so now he's coming to Glenavon on loan. And he'll probably fill the void that was left by James Singleton leaving for Glentoran. So, sorry, there's a bird who's going to attack us there. Yeah, we'll hear a bit from Michael or Michael and hear what he has to say about his move to Glenavon. So Glenavon were also in, this is actually, that interview was taken after Glenavon's first pre-season game open to the public, which was away to Loughgall yesterday. You'll see a match report from that on your Lurgan, and of course there'll be more games during the week. I just can't remember what they are off the top of my head.
So when does the season start? Seems a bit early, doesn't
13th, I think it is, of August.
Of August, okay.
Yeah, so we have another, only a few weeks to go. We'll have a preview coming up as well, so keep an eye out for that there, of the season ahead, not just for Glenavon but for the rest of the Irish League clubs, because we've had an invite down to Media Day down at the Danske Bank headquarters in Belfast. They're hosting the Media Day.
They must be sponsoring it for a long time now, 20 years or more?
I won't be 20 years, but it's at least could maybe be 10.
I think
It's a
a
good
bit
while.
more, but
I don't know. I don't think it is. But yeah, fair play them. Putting the money where their mouth is.
And taking their banks out at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, that's the football news for this week. I suppose now we should get on to Eugene.
We will, which very shortly, but just to say, you're keeping up with the bowling news, and I know you sent me an invite to go and meet someone from the bowling club, but I wasn't able to fulfil it. So hopefully we'll be doing that in the coming week
I,
or so.
I was actually speaking the other day to Melvin Hamilton. Hello, Melvin, who's the PRO of the bowling club. He's very keen to get you down still. Don't worry about that. Yeah, they're doing great work down there, and the team's all going really, really well as well. You'll be able to keep up to date with how they're going. I think there's a couple of big derby rivals going on there with Portadown Bowling Club. We wish the Lurgan Club well. So yeah, keep an eye on that there. And of course, well done to Mia, who was selected for Ireland. She's going to Australia, I think it was. So yeah, lots of good work going on down there. There's a youth bowling camp coming up as well.
Of course, I'll be going with her to Australia. Of course, that's only natural.
Are you paying for your own flights?
Oh, second on that.
No. So yeah, lots of good news there, and I believe, Don, I'm really pleased about this. Our friends across the road at the golf club are now coming on board with your Lurgan, and they're going to be sending us their weekly reports. So keep an eye on your Lurgan. You'll be able to get updates from the Lurgan Golf Club as well. And Silverwood, I think, as well, are going to send us in a few things.
Peter
as well.
Hanna's the man who would be doing all that sort of stuff in Lurgan Club. He's been a professional there for years. Great character.
I know his son very well, Gareth. Gareth was a prodigy of mine once upon a time. He don't like me saying that, but Gareth whenever I was doing the Glenavon notes for another local publication, I can mention it's the Lurgan Mail. Whenever I finished doing that, Gareth took over, and now Gareth is working for the Belfast Telegraph and doing commentary for Radio Ulster.
Ooh.
Yeah. Gareth loves it whenever I come over to him and do my Gareth Hanna impression.
I've done that myself, you know. Maybe it's been 20 years. My goodness, 20 years.
Commentating on football is not easy.
No.
Some of you who are aware of me and my work with Donagh will know that I commentated on Glenavon matches during lockdown for the live streams that we were doing, and it was tough work.
I am available for a one-off.
Oh, we're not doing it anymore, Donna, sorry. The fans are back in. But I mean, if we ever qualify for Europe again and we have to do live streams just to sell it to people across the water, we'll bring you in. You can speak Slovakian or something.
I speak fluent Chechen, I do.
Yeah.
So that's most of the sport and most of the stuff. Eugene, take it away. Well, we're back live at Terry McCash course here, the Wolf Tones. Just let me show you behind you here, some of the teams just getting ready. We're going to go over here to, we're actually on stage, we're just beside the stage for the presentation. Behind me, Cal Tagg, who's the chairperson.
Right, folks.
Here's the presentation of
congratulate
tonight's
both
evening.
teams on a very sporting and hard game of football. And just the clowns were just shaded on the neck, so we wish a nice clown Iron all the best for the remaining of the season. On behalf of the Thai family, I would like to thank the people who worked tirelessly to make this tournament a great success. The organising committee of James Martin, Gareth Main, and Patsy McGee, our club secretary Damien Mulholland, and the rest of the executive committee of the club. I'd like to thank the Armagh County Board for providing a window for having the fixtures. I'd like to thank our referees, Neil McGeown, who's on holidays, Chris Lann, and our own Bubbles Murray. Our senior team who umpired and done the lines throughout the tournament. Our ground staff, Paddy Ty and Daisy McAlinton. And our army of volunteers who are helping out on the day. I want to thank all the local clubs, St Peter's, Clonagale, Clonard, and our own team, for making it, I think was all agree, a worthwhile tournament and to help each team to progress for the start of their league and championship campaign. I'd like to thank Eugene Craney and our Lurgan Facebook page, Donagh McKeown, and all the supporters who attended the games. Without you, it wouldn't have been the same. I'd like to thank Charlie Mall, Butchers, and finally the tournament sponsor, McKeever Sports, who have kindly put up a 25 jersey training set for the winning team. So well done, Clonagale. Right, so we'll move on to the man of the match, kindly sponsored by Eugene Craney and Donagh McKeown. I think this lad's not only been man of the match, but he's been probably a player of the tournament. So I know his dad very well. His player is Jack Lavery.
James, get him through the railings.
Eugene, the game is over. A couple of people with a trophy here. That's a fine trophy. Who's this young man?
This is Luca. Luca's brother. Shay was playing midfield for Clonagale. How do you feel, wee man? Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah,
Do you play yourself, Shay? Yeah, what position do you play?
midfield.
Midfield. Your brother's pretty good at the midfield too. You'll have to grow a wee bit to get as tall as him, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And who's this beside you?
I'm not even sure.
What's your name, love? Aoife who?
Aoife, lovely. Open up there, Aoife, and show us what you have. Oh, this is the actual presentation. Isn't that lovely? Really nice, really nice. So let's go and let's see if we can get Cahill to join us here. Cahill, you just made the presentations here. Your thoughts now that it's all over?
Well, I think everything would agree. Everybody agree it went really well, and it's well supported. And look, probably at the end of the day, the best team won, just marginally. So, end of the day, that's probably the perfect result. So look, I think nobody got badly hurt. Everybody enjoyed the football. There was no bad manners. Everybody just got on with it. Sure, what more do you want? This game's of football.
I mean, it stayed dry, thankfully, for all of us in this brand new stand.
Yeah, well, we dropped rain earlier on, but sure, it's Ireland. What do you expect?
I think the managers give it a lot of respect, and you heard the intensity of the excitement at the end of the game. That's how you know at the end of a match where people want to win or not, and the fans in the background. So it's so exciting. But Cal said, Clonagale over the period of the tournament just about done enough to win it. But the fact that the manager took it seriously, I think it was a fantastic thing right in the middle of the season before the league and championship started. So fair play to the Wolf Tones, well run, well organised. I'd like to say thanks to Cahill and Garth Meehan, who welcomed us down. Garth was fantastic. I tortured him all week. But fantastic, and they're going into the club for a bevy. So there's a free pints all around for us.
No, heaven forbid. You can drink mine too. Well,
look, everybody enjoyed it, so great. And look, everybody's happy. So far, Clonagale, but they made a good fest of it. So.
I will just remember your brother on this evening as well.
Well, it's 40 years a year. I was just saying to my sister, it's hard to believe it's 40 years. And my mum and dad was here, they'd be so proud. So, what do you do? That's life. You just have to go on.
Thank you so much for allowing us to be here.
Thank you very much.
And what a fantastic facility.
Yeah.
Eugene, thank you for also inviting me down, and your Lurgan as well. Looking forward to more updates, more reports in the coming days and weeks and months.
Thank you very much, Donagh, and take care.
I have to say we had great fun at the Wolf Tones ground the other night. Thank you very much for the invitation once again, and well done to the winning team.
Yes, and thanks to Eugene for his coverage. It was top notch as usual.
Top notch indeed. So is that it? Is that all there is, as they say?
That's all we're going to talk about, because we've been talking here for half an hour. We haven't even edited the thing yet, so it's a long enough podcast. But yeah, there's lots of stuff on your Lurgan. It's actually been a busy week. Usually this is what I like to call silly season. I think a lot of people call this silly season, because obviously there's 2 days in the week where we aren't working, but we've still managed to put out pretty close to a normal service. So well done to your Lurgan team for getting us to that stage where we've been putting out enough stuff to keep us going. The only thing is we're sort of quiet this weekend, so I have no idea. By the time you read this or see this, there could be nothing on your Lurgan by Monday. So we're sort of empty.
Don't worry, we'll make stuff up. Glad to be back on the team.
Glad to have you back.
And looking forward to quite a few more reports because I have to catch up with all the ones I didn't do. Thank you very much for watching, listening, whatever you do with your podcasts, wherever you're listening. Share the word. Spread the word.
Tell your friends.
If you want to get in touch, it's...
Actually, do tell your friends. You can invite your friends to like your Lurgan. Please go and do that. That's a great idea.
There you are. I'm glad I thought of it.
Yeah, thank you.
info@yourlurgan is the email. info@yourlurgan. If you've got a very attentive ear, you can hear the seagulls cawing here. It's their lunchtime. It's probably ours as well.
It is, yes. I'm starving.
And thanks for watching. I'm Donagh McCune.
I'm Michael Scott.
And you've just had another Your Lurgan podcast.